Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Lena and welcome to another video. Today is a little bit of a stretch type of video. I was just like thinking about what recommendations I could give you this week. And I was just like, okay, I got this. So, today we're going to talk about some video games and what books they remind me of. This experiment, I hope is going to go right, but we don't know that. So just let me tell you a bit about this. So I've basically made out a list with some of my favorite video games, and I've matched them with some of my most enjoyable books, or books that remind me. In what way, you may ask? Well, sometimes it's just like the book is about this and the video game is about the same thing. Some other times it's just like because I want to. Let's just, get started because this is going to be interesting. The first one that I have here is Mass Effect. This is actually one of my two favorite games of all time, so I'm going to treat it right. But every time that I think about Mass Effect, I get two books into my mind. One of them is The Commonwealth Saga by Peter F. Hamilton. This is basically because of the whole human colonization, just conquering the stars, that sort of thing, and the whole technological advance. That reminds me of Mass Effect. But there's another book that I haven't finished yet that is called The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. And man, this book feels like Mass Effect 2 when you are in Normandy with all your friends. That's the same feeling. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is basically like a contemporary but set in space. It just has that feel of friendship and romance that Mass Effect also has. Now, Assassin's Creed. This is one of my favorite series. I'm just so hyped about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I want that right now. But this reminds me so much of Age of Assassins by R.J. Barker. I mean, you can tell from the cover that it's just have the most similar vibe ever. I haven't read Blood of Assassins, well, Age of Assassins, but I don't know. Every time that I think about this book, Assassins just came to my mind. Every single time. I could also say Nevernight because it has assassins, but it's just not the same. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know this, Assassin's Creed actually has its own kind of novellas. They're kind of a novelization of the games, but a bit different, and they're actually pretty good. I've read 3 or 4 of them. They're pretty good. Then, this is one of my so favorite games. This is Civilization, and I have the perfect book for this. This is 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City. I don't know, maybe it's because of the whole management aspect of it that just reminds me about this book so much. And also, City of Lies by Sam Hawke also kind of reminds me of this because we are following these two siblings that are kind of in charge of the city, but not totally. And they're under siege, and for some reason, it just kind of reminds me of Civilization when you get under attack. Yeah, I told you, this is very subjective, okay? Then I have here Red Dead Redemption 2. I really like this game, although it's a bit long. But for this one, I have Bloodrush by Ben Gali. You can see that this one is Western also. But not just that. But we also have this kind of journey throughout the whole state, which just reminds me so much about the whole trouble that you need to do in Red Dead Redemption, that it was just like, hey, sorry, this could be in the same universe. Then I have The Witcher. One game that I've been loving since it came out in March. I think it was in March. This is Doom, and I'm combining this with The Painting Man, the first book in the Demon Cycle, and I'm putting these two together because the Doom guy and the Painted Man are both demon slayers. so hard. They are the nightmare of all demons. And they just could be completely exchangeable. I don't know which word I'm trying to say. We can swap them and they could fit perfectly in each other world. So yeah, that's why. So Castlevania, I mean, I've talked about the series multiple times already, but this is combined with the Wolfgang Trilogy by F.D. Cross. And I've said it, as I told you, multiple times already, but this book reminds me all the time of Castlevania. We have just like these vampires, like Dracula type of vampires, and the whole hunting them, the whole hunter thing. It's just like they are so similar. The protagonist of the Wolfgang could actually be just like a Belmont. Then we have Borderlands, and I haven't read the book that is going to be set with, but this is the Wastelanders, and I could probably also pair this book with Rage, but I think that I'm going to stick with Borderlands because it has like this kind of weird humor to it. So yeah, you know, post-apocalyptic, weird things, shooting people, everything is like a wasteland. These two go hand on hand. I don't know how to explain it better. I don't know what's going on with me today. I'm so sorry. Then we have two zombie games. The first one is going to be They Are Billions, and if you haven't tried this managing man zombie colony making game, you should try it. I'm comparing this to Mordacious. It reminds me about it because we have just like so many zombies in Mordacious. They are just like all over the world, and in their billions you need to just stand against them, making a colony. And Mordacious, we also have like this kind of thing, but in a hospital. They're trying to resist in a hospital. I don't know, but they're similar because of that. You know, you should try They Are Billions. It's such a good, I'm almost saying book. Such a good game. Then, of course, Resident Evil. I'm talking mostly about Resident Evil 2 because they are so different from one another. Lately especially. But this reminds me about my favorite zombie series, Apocalipsis Z by Manuel Loureiro. And I'm picking this because Apocalipsis is basically about this guy trying to survive the zombie apocalypse in his town. It's actually set on Mine Town. Just for you to know. Kind of a similar vibe because we have this kind of inexperienced person, and it reminds me of Leon, kind of trying to survive in the middle of Raccoon City. Well, this guy is the same, but he also has a cat that he needs to take care of. So yeah. Then I have here another one of the weird ones. This is Alan Wake, and I'm comparing this to Wayward Pines. I don't know, but this is mostly subjective. But it's because the whole Alan, you know, exploring this town that is abandoned and it's on its own, kind of reminds me of the main protagonist on Wayward Pines. He's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in this awful town. I don't know, that's the only similar vibe they have actually. And if you haven't checked Control, by the same guys of Alan Wake, do it because it's such a good video game. My god, this list is long. I have here Dragon Age. Dragon Age is one of my favorite video games of all time, and I'm pairing this with Wheel of Time. Just because Dragon Age is so vast and full with, you know, companionship and prophecies and evil guys waking up. And just this vast world. Oh, I would just love so much like a RPG about Wheel of Time. That would be so good. Okay, this is the one that I'm proudest about. But I'm pairing Tekken, the fight game, with Jade City. It's not just only because they are kind of Asian inspired, both of them, but because in Jade City we have so much family drama, like in Tekken, they are just hand to hand. They go perfectly. The whole family drama that we had in Tekken is kind of really similar to the one in Jade City. These are just like, oh, and the whole kind of fighting thing is just like really similar to one another. It's not like over the top fighting skills. This is one. This is perfect. The last one that I'm going to say is Space Invaders. Yeah, and I'm pairing this with Skyward because every time that I kind of see the drawings that Skyward has, I was just like, this is Space Invaders. And I just pictured them because the whole planet in Skyward is just surrounded by trash. I was just like picturing the alien ships coming down. Like this screen on the Space Invaders, just like, and the other ones are just like shooting. Yeah. But yeah, these were my weird recommendations for the day. I don't know if this is going to get somewhere, but I needed to put this out there in the world for everyone to enjoy. But yeah, that's going to be all for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.